Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. It's good to see you. Good to have you here. As you can see, Twiggy is super excited as well on the inside. I'm Jeff Matlow, and I have a secret for you. Ooh, boy, I do. The secret is the way to get from where you are now to living your ideal life. It turns out I know how all the successful leaders do it. Stick around. I'll tell you those secrets later. First, let's talk about innovation, shall we? If you're anything like me, you've been misled your entire life. Let me explain how. It starts with fire and the wheel. I'm well aware that cavemen discovered how to harness fire about 1 million years ago. It was a big discovery. Of course it was. I'm sure there was probably some sort of caveman party or a celebratory shindig or something.
Medium rare mastodon meat for all my friends.
Fast forward a generation or two later, and I envision a caveman dressed in the latest Fred Flintstone fashion, sitting in his cave on a nice autumn day as he chiseled away on a stone, and suddenly, whammo, he discovered the wheel. Why the cave people needed a wheel 1 million years ago is probably a good question, but I'm not interested in logic right now. Fire was harnessed, and then the wheel was invented shortly thereafter. Are you with me on this so far? Now imagine my surprise when I learned that the wheel was not invented by cavemen 1 million years ago. Actually, it came into existence in 3500 BC, a mere 5,000-ish years ago, which feels like about how long it's taken me to put this piece together. Keep in mind that the world was already pretty advanced by 3500 BC. Urban planning and irrigation systems were already in existence. The Egyptians had already begun constructing pyramids for at least 1,000 years, and people had already been building boats and sailing in them for 5,000 years by that point. What I'm saying is that civilization went through a heck of a lot of other inventions before it even found time to get to the wheel. Oh, and when the wheel was invented, it wasn't even used for transportation. Get this, it was used for pottery. It was a pottery invention. It took another 500 years until 3000 BC before some brilliant person figured out that you could put the pottery wheel on its side and attach it to a cart. Be honest with me. Did you also think that the wheel was invented by cavemen, or was it just me? Now imagine my surprise when I learned about sliced bread. It always seemed logical to me for the Romans to have invented sliced bread. After all, they invented practically everything else that has to do with a civilized society. They're the ones who brought us such groundbreaking ideas as highways, sanitation systems, concrete, and yes, even central heating. It's like they built Los Angeles 2,000 years before Los Angeles was actually built. By the way, if you can create central heating back in 80 AD, surely you can create sliced bread, right? Wrong. Sliced bread wasn't created by a Roman emperor in 80 AD. It was created by a guy named Otto from Davenport, Iowa in 1928. Otto Rohwedder is his name, in case you were wondering, and I know you were. He was a jeweler who came up with the idea for sliced bread while standing mindlessly in the shower thinking about life, as we all tend to do. Well, maybe that shower part isn't real, but Otto actually was a jeweler who came up with the idea for sliced bread, and in a bold move, Otto decided to sell all of his jewelry stores to focus full-time on bringing his idea to fruition. And it took a few years, but in 1928, his magic machine was released, and his patents came to life. Voila, sliced bread. Now, the idea of sliced bread spread pretty darn fast. Otto's invention came out in 1928, and it grew so quickly that the Wonder Bread folks, who had been selling whole loaves of bread since 1921, realized they needed to make some changes. In 1930, just 2 years after Otto brought the concept to the world, Wonder Bread started pre-slicing their bread. And by 1933, 80% of all the bread sold in the US was pre-sliced. Keep in mind that this mass adoption was before much communication technology beyond the telegraph and newspaper and somebody screaming on the corner. Sliced bread reached ubiquitousness within only 5 years, which is faster than the growth of almost every other major invention since 1903. So now, I ask you, how could it have taken until 1928 to invent sliced bread? I've got a point to all this, and my point is innovation. Innovation is everything. Well, maybe not everything, but it's really important. Innovation drives growth individually, collectively, and universally. Sometimes it's good growth, sometimes it's bad growth, but it's growth nonetheless. And let's not forget my two main questions. One, why did it take a million years for the wheel to be invented? And two, why did it take until 1928 and a dude named Otto to invent sliced bread? The answers lie in the reasons for innovation. And the reasons for innovation are critical components in understanding how to grow your business and your career. As it turns out, there are three reasons for innovation. Here they are. Number one, to avoid a catastrophe. Number two, to better solve a problem. And number three, to help others. Now let's talk about these for a minute, and then we'll get to you, I promise. And by the way, those secrets to living your ideal life that I promised to give you earlier, that's coming soon too. So here we go, the three reasons for innovation. The first, innovation to avoid a catastrophe. Most of the most impactful innovations haven't happened in times of happy-go-luckiness. Impactful innovation happens when somebody's proverbial foot is standing on your proverbial throat. Spears were invented so the human race could survive. Radar was created to stop military personnel from being killed. Satellite technology was advanced to avoid a nuclear holocaust. And COVID vaccine was whipped together at amazing speed to avoid a full economic collapse. Few things rally a team to innovate well together, as does a potential catastrophe. Innovations that help catastrophes will and should always be prioritized above any other innovations. And this is why neither the wheel nor sliced bread were anywhere in anybody's thinking for a long, long time. Which leads us to number two, innovation to better solve a problem. The vast majority of innovations are created to better solve a problem. Sometimes the problem that needs a better solution is known to the people involved. These are the problems that are solved by the people you take for granted. For instance, it's the client support person that comes up with a new way to assess customer satisfaction and changes your business. Or it's the warehouse worker who reorganizes the warehouse to increase efficiency and dramatically improve productivity. However, sometimes the problem that needs a better solution isn't obvious to everybody. Yahoo seemed like a good enough search engine back in the day. But when Google launched, we realized we did, in fact, need a better way to search. And also, watching TV when the shows were on seemed a good enough way to watch TV for decades. But when TiVo and DVRs were invented, we realized we did, in fact, need a better way to watch TV. And, most importantly to this rant, riding on horses seemed to work out very well for everyone. But when the wheel was invented for transportation, we realized we did, in fact, need a better way to move things. It didn't take a catastrophe to invent the wheel. It took a few people who thought of a problem and tried to solve it in a better way. So what about sliced bread? Well, that brings us to the third type of innovation, the innovation to help others. I like to think that we're a benevolent society that wants to help each other. We're not. Or rather, it's not the driving force for innovation. The biggest innovations emerge from catastrophes. Then come the innovations to create better ways to solve problems. And if there is any energy left at the end of the day, the slowest, least prioritized innovations are simply done for good, to benefit other people. Most of these types of innovations are not driven by a team, but by one person with a mission. Take sliced bread as an example. The reason nobody else invented sliced bread in the previous million years was because nobody needed it. Similarly, chefs innovate with food preparation simply because they think people will enjoy the taste. Artists create new things simply because they think it will resonate with others. And this is the part where we boomerang it all back to you. As I said earlier, which you'd remember had your eyes not glazed over, innovation is critical to growth, both in your company and in your career. In order for your company to grow, your company must innovate. And in order for your career to grow, you must innovate. In my role as a business consultant and coach, I hear many people complain about their company's lack of innovation. Here's the important thing to understand, so open up your eyes, perk up those ears. Every single person in the company is responsible for innovation. If you're the one who embraces that innovation, your career will grow. That's right. Your company needs innovation to grow, and if you help drive that innovation, you will grow. In the words of the great prophet Steve Jobs, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So be a leader. Opportunities for innovation are everywhere. You just have to look for them. You don't need to be in the C-suite to learn the 7 secrets for a culture of calculated risks. You just need to start seeing the problems and proactively overcoming them. So it's about that time to stop wondering why it took so long to create the wheel or slice the bread, because the power of innovation is in your hands. Embrace your inner Otto Rohwetter. There's nothing stopping you from changing the world except for your unwillingness to do it. Begin to innovate your life now. I promise, only good will come out of it. And speaking of good, at the top of this rant, I promised that I'd tell you there's a secret way to get from where you are now to living your ideal life. And there's a secret that all successful leaders know, and it's only 2 words: time management. For a limited time, I'm giving away for free the 7 secrets of time management for successful leaders. Download it now at this link before I change my mind. Seriously. All right. Thank you for listening to the best leadership podcast ever. I appreciate you. Please click subscribe, click the like button if you like this, maybe leave a comment if you feel like it, if you got something to say. Either way, we'll talk next time.